Hello everyone, we're going to be talking about Boston Bruins goalie Tuukka Rask and his struggles last night and whether or not we should expect them going forward. Now, before we start, please make sure to join the Hockey Brigade by subscribing if you are new to the channel. You want to see more hockey content. Now let's get to it. So, last night was not a night to remember for the Finnish goalie, as in his storied career, I don't know if I can remember him struggling as much as this, kind of just his return. He let in 5 goals on 12 shots for Boston in net, but should Bruins fans be concerned, and is this an end of an era for the Bruins? To be honest, I didn't watch the game, but from what I watched from the highlights, I don't think Boston fans should be worried, and here's why. For starters, the Hurricanes dominated the first period. They outchanced Boston 12-4 in terms of scoring chances, as well as 6-2 then high danger chances, so they really were just getting after Boston. That was 20 minutes of action, and for comparison, Ullmark only faced 5 high danger shots in 40 minutes of action. And to be completely honest, out of all those 5 goals, I think only one was completely Rask's fault. Not saying that he was hung out to dry on all 5, or I guess the 4 remaining ones, and that he was innocent in all of it, but they definitely really didn't do him any favors. And yeah, 4 of those goals he gave up were high danger chances, with 1 being a medium danger chance. He wasn't giving up something that was really easy. Those were good looks that Carolina was getting. And a lot of this stems from ridiculously dumbfounding, terrible turnovers, and Carolina was just able to get a lot of traffic in front of the net. They were able to get really good looks, and again, not all this was on the team. Rask wasn't able to recover a puck. Maybe it bounced off of him and they scored. He wasn't able to get it. You're going to have to be able to do that or be able to recover and stop it, and he wasn't on one of those. And here's some perspective too to show you why I don't think this is going to be a norm going forward. The average goal distance for all the goals Tuukka gave up was 13.8 feet, and that's just not normal for an NHL goalie. Only 3 goalies so far in the season have given up goals at a shorter distance, and those really are household names. I think only one has played 3 games. The rest have all played 1. So what does that mean? It just means that the Bruins really let Rask down last night with those turnovers. Carolina they got some good looks on the breakaway, stuff like that, and I don't even know. Boston fans, you know what I'm talking about if you watch the game. They really didn't do Rask any favors. Now, yes, Rask only had an expected goals against of 1.78, but when only 3 of the 12 shots you face are low danger shots, you're bound to struggle in net. And you look at this, it's just one of those things. Let's not forget and say, oh, Rask was just terrible. That's not true. Carolina is a great team at the moment with a record of 26-8-2. We know that they're a very good team. They made it to the playoffs. They've won playoff series, and they are 3rd overall in the league standings, while also having the 4th best goals for per 60 in the league, behind only the Avalanche, the Panthers, and the Wild. Pretty good teams, especially Colorado and Florida. You expected them to be towards the top of the standings this year, and guess what? They're very good at scoring. We've seen that from all these teams. So yeah, I would say that Rask hasn't, had a great game so far to start off the year, but you got to remember a few other factors where he was not playing in the NHL at all since June 9th, and he was recovering from a torn labrum. So you recover from the hip injury, and you haven't played an NHL game since June 9th. You got to give him more slack than I think some people have seen. Factoring in all those things, you'd expect the 34-year-old to live up to his reputation a little bit more as we continue on in the season, and he may not put up those dominant stats, sub 2.5 goals against average, but I definitely think he could be a reliable goalie for the Bruins down the stretch. And guess what? If he isn't, it's literally no big deal, because here's why. The Spoked Bees signed him to a great 1-year deal. It's very cheap. They can move on from him if things don't work out. And the financial impact, not a concern at all. Then you have the extremely young and promising Jeremy Swayman, who has proven he can be a good NHL level goalie. And so, boom. Things don't work out with Rask, you bring Swayman back up, life is good. And on top of that, Boston looks relatively safe in terms of making the playoffs. They have a points lead, I think 5 points over Detroit at the moment with 4 games in hand. So they're safe. They have a little breathing room, and maybe that gives them a chance to let Rask get, comfortable in net, and we'll see where it goes. I don't know. I think that's going to be interesting to see, but I think in between the pipes, he's going to be fine. If the season progresses, he gets a little bit more time, and you don't have to play Carolina every single game. It's going to be fun, I imagine. So anyway, that's all for today's video. Do you think that Rask still has what it takes to be an NHL caliber goalie? Let me know down below in the comments. Before you go, make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, as well as subscribing. Again, if you are new, I appreciate that so much. And also, I'd like to say I'm going to be more consistent on here. Last week has been kind of crazy, and this week was crazy too, getting adjusted to my first 2 weeks in this semester. So yeah, everybody stay safe. Have a great night. You go love hockey, all right? Goodbye, Brigadiers and Brigadettes. This is your captain signing off. Have a great night.